Hey everyone, it's Blue. Hope that everyone is doing well. I am starting off a new year. I know that I told many of you that I just kind of want to redirect how I engage with all of the followers. And I want to thank all of you guys for following me. I mean, 24K is a heck of an accomplishment. And I just couldn't have been able to do it without you. And I just want to say thank you for doing this and for supporting me. So what I feel like I need to do now is just start giving you guys connections, actionable information where you guys and all of us, myself included, can start making the proper moves the right way to fulfill our goals. I've done all the preaching that I could do. I'm tired of preaching now. It's time to put things in action. So no better way than for me to start this off with my dear friend, Oluremi Sano with Spark and Flow. She is a beast when it comes down to entrepreneurial movements. She is global. I had the pleasure and have the pleasure of partnering with her in business. And if you are wanting to start a nonprofit and also gain the funding to support your nonprofit and yourself, the buck stops here. She is my go-to. She is the only person that I refer others to get their businesses and their nonprofits and their funding. And she is able to do this with such great ease and success because she has to connect. She is the connect. So without further ado, Oluremi.
Thank you. Thank you for that introduction. I really appreciate it, my dear friend, Tangi. So I'm just happy to be in connection and alignment with people, like you. Yeah, the people that you have sent have all done wonderful things, making a wonderful impact. And I think it's about alignment. It's really about who you know, how you know them, the relationships that you have with them, the trust they have in you, to take your word and follow up on it and then get started with somebody like me. So I appreciate it.
No doubt, no doubt. So let's talk it out. I mean, okay. New year, new you, map your moves. That is the name of this session today, folks. We'll be doing this regularly on Saturdays, so stay tuned. So, Oluremi, here's the skinny, and I'm starting to tell my story now. A lot of people did not know what I was going through after I went through that layoff. I hit the hardest time of my life. And now I'm in a space where I've been able to recover, and I'm now starting to recalibrate. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm ready to move abroad. I know that I want to start building and living in Ghana. I want to build business in Africa. I want to start doing that. But you know the lay of the land, you know the connects, you know the process. Just talk to us first of all about what you offer, and then we'll get into starting to talk about this thing about trying to be global about your business.
Sure. So what I offer is for people to turn their passion and purpose into a viable nonprofit organization or for-profit social impact enterprise. So people should know that you can have a for-profit business. If that for-profit business is making a positive impact, you can get some of the same grants that people who have nonprofit organizations get. The other thing is that conversely, people should know that nonprofits does not mean that you don't make money. That is a huge myth. And it really is something that we have in our heads, that you have to be altruistic, pour all your passion and time into something and not get paid. That is a myth also. So you need to clean those up. I help people on both sides so that they can do what they love. This is what I teach and preach, and it's also what I do. I do it from anywhere in the world. So nothing changes when I fly to Ghana. Nothing changes if I fly home to Texas. Nothing changes if I'm visiting you guys in Maryland and the DC area, because I can take my work with me on a computer. I'm still doing things that impact people, helping them learn about how to do their business and build a viable business, helping them learn about funding. I can do it from anywhere in the world for whatever length of time. So that's what I do. And then how people can do it, it starts right here as a fresh seed in their mind. And what better way to do it? Like you said, the beginning of the year, this is new year, new you. Mapping your moves means first having the seed in your head. And here's how to let yourself have grace along the way, right? Things can change, people change. What I tell people, the flower does not grow the same day you plant the seed. It's such a beautiful African proverb, because you have to know that the seed is here, and this is what I want to do, but now I need a roadmap. And so I also need to nurture that seed, and I need to water that seed and then let it come alive. So there's a process involved. But what we talk about, those of us who are global, is helping people along the way, making it easier, helping people have a soft landing when they get in these places. So you're not going in there like what I told you, like, hey, I know so many people. You told me what your vision was. I already know people in real estate. I already know people in business. I already know people that can help you as soon as you land on the ground, get to somewhere that you have. If you have to get to an Airbnb first, just to see where you want to go and learn about it. So why would you need to go in there like, free willy? You don't. You have a roadmap already, and you have people ready to catch you, help you have a soft landing. So that's what we want to do in 2025. We are helping people's dreams come alive.
Right on. Thank you for sharing that, so that people can know that, the resource that you are and that what you can provide. So I know for me, and I think, again, new year, new you. I already know that and I see the vision that I want to start putting my efforts, my business, my life into building the motherland, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've given, and no shade to this country. How, this is USA. I'm born and raised here, been able to benefit some of the things from it, but I've also have been on the receiving end of the things that aren't so good, especially for a Black woman in this country. So for me, I feel like, okay, I've given this country 50 years of my life. Now I'm ready to, I feel like I'm obligated. I feel like I'm called. I feel like I'm obligated to say, okay, now you need to give back home. So the first thing that I'm concerned about is, for me, and you tell me if I'm right or if I'm wrong.
Okay.
I don't want to particularly move there until I have business set up there. Is that a right way of moving in that type of situation?
It's a good thought. Let me tell you why. Okay, number one, I say to people, I am bicontinental. So you don't have to lock into, it's not either or, it's both. And this is a global mindset. I really want people to learn this. Even children and youth should learn how to explore the world, right? You have parents now who are looking at all different types of parenting. There's one lady on YouTube, the Mom Trotter. She takes her kid all around the world. He's even been to Senegal, a Black mom and her husband. But she and her son travel a lot together. I think the husband does some work. The reason why I'm bringing them up is because her son learns about the world from the world. His whole education process has been different, and is stepping outside of the box. So they just bought some property in Texas, right in Dallas, where I'm from. But they are in international education programs for 2 or 3 months. They'll be in Senegal for a month. They'll be in Italy for a month. They'll be anywhere they want to be for a month or two, because this is how he has learned his entire life. So he has so much quality and so much depth in his young body right now that we don't have, because we are locked into the perception that America is the only place and the greatest place and the this and the that. But we need to get outside of that country. We need to be able to explore, and we need to be able to learn how, right? People are missing the how. That's the only part of the equation. So no, it's not wrong to think that you really need to have a plan. And this is what we were talking about today, mapping your move. How do you map your move? One, I think that people need to really realize the global economy is something that you should lock into, because my business is part of the edutech, right? The edutech global economy. That is $362 billion a year being made online by teaching people something online that you have to offer. You've been in communications most of your life in a professional way. There are so many people that want to maybe go into the professions of communications. You could be teaching that online and teaching it as a course. and people will pay for that as a course. Then you don't have to be locked into America. You don't have to be locked into Ghana, locked into Mexico, into Spain. You don't have to be locked into anywhere, because you could teach that from wherever you are. This is what we need to know, is that there's work in the global economy. That's one. And yes, you should have something firm before you move. Do you have to? No. People have moved with less than $5,000 and made their way in countries in Africa, because you can. That is a reality. You can buy a whole piece of land with $5,000 in Africa. So it's not that people are going there and making it seem like something is not. You can actually do that. You have to have the gumption to be able to learn some other things along the way, but that is a possibility. Even here in Senegal, when people ask me how much are the average rents and things like that, you can have a 2-bedroom, big living room, bathroom, balcony, everything for $800 a month. You can't barely find that anywhere in America. You could do that right now today. If you came here and wanted to rent somewhere, you could do that, and then you could still do whatever you're doing online. So these are the practical aspects of how do we do it. And then what we teach is how to do the how. Not only that, we have a large network. We have a network in Ghana. You just saw me come back from Influencers Fest. All those people are from all over the place. They have diasporans come into Ghana every single year in December to talk about how do we tap into this global economy. Most of those people are doing it through YouTube. Most of those people are doing it as influencers through YouTube, who are monetized influencers. So they have money coming in to talk about the things that they're doing. And one of the good resources for your listeners is Web Nation Africa. Web Nation Africa is the people who sponsor the Influencers Fest, Mr. Hafer Darko, who also happens to be one of my clients. And so the thing is, he and I and other people that come there, we talk about how do we create a soft landing for people that want to move to Ghana? How do we create a soft landing for people who want to move to Guinea or to Senegal, or to any of those places? You really want to be able to teach that to people, how to create a soft landing when you are going to Africa. It's very important to be able to connect with people who can show you the ropes.
While you're talking, and I encourage anyone that while she's talking, write, have pencil and paper, because she's giving nuggets. All right. So now I've got 3 different cards sitting on my desk that I'm already just from talking to you. So now you said something that really struck me, and it's this edutech. And I never ever heard it put that way, honestly. That's really a thing. And I've sat here and I'm like, I know I have all these skills. I know I've had all these experiences, but I'm like, I don't even know at what point, what do I teach? What do I create, like online courses? Talk to me about edutech, because I feel like a lot of people have different things, different experiences that they could create this type of business by just teaching.
Enterprise. It's you can create a full enterprise. And so here's the other thing. What I would love is for us to, like, as you said, continue to have these conversations so we can get people very clear on how to create an enterprise or multiple enterprises. So you can have a for-profit enterprise and a nonprofit enterprise. How do you do that? You can have an edutech enterprise and still do things where you give back on the nonprofit side in another entity. And how do you do both of those things at the same time? So let's take edutech first. Educational technology is what we're doing right now online. We are conversing. We are giving people information and knowledge that they would like to have to be able to map their move if they are looking to live outside of the United States, or if they're just looking to live globally. So we're going to give them the steps. How do you do that? I have a course online already, right, that teaches people in a 19-point system, because I go every single thing that I had to live through, I teach through. So I teach them, what did I do? How did I get here? Who did I connect with? What are some things to consider? Where are the places that you can go that you don't have to have a visa? Where are the ones you can go where you don't have to have shots, if that's a consideration for people? So we're teaching all the points that people have to think through when they are moving, and you put it in a course. So I have a mini course for people who just want to get the down low and decide if they're going to be able to do that 45 minutes long. And then I have a longer extended course and opportunity for people to interact with me one-on-one, which is $497. One is 97, one
That's
is
all?
497. One is 97 and one is 497. And I do it in a way where now people, that is rinse and repeat. That is a whole entity. That's a business in and of itself. So you can create a business and then put that business online. That business is now educational technology. So, and there's so many different types of things that you can teach about because people want to learn anything. People teach singing, they teach how do you become a recording artist, they teach anything online now. People can go, you can go type in anything on Google or YouTube and find whatever you need, even if it is changing the piece on a dryer, which I actually did. There's a guy with over 1 million views that teaches people every little thing about fixing something small in your house. So educational technology is a $362 billion industry that is only going to get bigger because everything is going to the global digital economy.
Okay, so question. Let's say for someone who does not know what to teach or what they could offer, as far as creating these courses. Do you offer any type of support or consultations to brainstorm that out?
Yes, I offer free consultation. So I have a free consultation on my Shopify store, Spark and Flow with Oluremi. People can go on there, click free consultation. They can book a call, and then I will go through a checklist with them on what it is they want to do, a checklist on how you do it so that they can understand what needs to happen. They can make a decision on which route they want to go through, whether they want to create a business, a for-profit business or a nonprofit business, what is entailed in any of those. And then we do a sift and sort through their talents and skills. So people have talents and skills a lot of times that they don't know how to monetize. And that's important because people are leaving money on the table. You don't know how to monetize it. You don't even know that there's money out there that where people will pay, and people will pay over and over online while you're asleep. People will want to hear, man, I've been wanting to work in the radio, television, and film industry for a long time. And I don't even know the first part of getting that. There's a whole lot of younger people coming behind us that don't know how to, now they finish school and they need to know how to tap in. You could already have that online, and you could save them a lot of time by just having a little $495 course telling them this is how you do it. I've been in this profession for 15 years. I've been in broadcast journalism for 15 years. Here's the steps, the top 5 ways to get started in journalism. That is a business. You know what I mean? That's a business. It's an educational technology business. And then there's some extenders. Some people might want the long form. Some people might want to then be with you for 2 or 3 years and let you use your connects to tap them into a job. You might want to do 1997 for that, because that then is professional mentoring. So now you have a $2,000 course that you're taking somebody 4 to 6 weeks over time, and then you're helping them get into that industry. That's just one example because you have so many skills. So anything that people have as a talent or a skill that they can teach and share is something that can become an educational technology product.
I need this, Oluremi. I can't tell you how many nights I've sat up and I keep hitting this brick wall. Like, I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this. I'm a jack of every trade. And I have no idea. I mean, I have an idea, but I don't.
Let me tell you something too. So you can have multiple stores. I use Shopify as my product, and they don't pay me to say this, but they need to. I need to be an affiliate of some kind, because that's the other thing. Some people are making millions of dollars just being an affiliate of all these other companies. They don't have to create anything. They just go start sharing what the companies are sharing and they get paid for it. But with Shopify, because Shopify is universal and people use it, it's a great tool. You can set up multiple stores. So say, for instance, you might want to set up a store that is just for educational services for people in the RTF field, radio, television, film, people who want to learn about radio, television, film. That's just an example I made up. I'm not trying to keep you pegged in that, but I'm just saying, like, if that were your one store, then you might have a store where people might want to learn about how to move themselves and their energy spiritually, and you might have some conversations, some tools, some things that you deal with in that realm. And your store, that store might be called something, something. It's almost like having a botanical online. So you might have that. Then you may have, like, I'll give you my real ones. I have Spark and Flow with Oluremi. I have Spark and Flow with Oluremi Automation Services, which is new because now we're teaching people how to build whole e-commerce stores online. So that is a whole new business. And then I have Jajef Coffee, which is a coffee business that my partner and I do together. And we have Jajef Foundation. So we have 3 different stores on Shopify. And you can build everything you need into those stores, your own products and services, any types of merchandise or paraphernalia can come under that. You list the products, you put the pricing on there, you add the descriptions, and then in 30 seconds or less, you have a whole product that people can click a link and purchase.
Okay.
So this is what we need to teach. It's like, let me just tell you this. If you guys know and understand the power that is coming behind this whole um, educational technology and financial technology online, the same house that I'm sitting in right now, one of these walls that's sitting to the left of me is getting ready to be one big giant full whiteboard that's also like a TV screen that I can see 1,000 people on at a time, because I can train 1,000 people instead of just one at a time, and then be more efficient. And I can do that once a month versus every day of the month, and get paid, tons of money by giving that kind of value to a group of people, and then helping those people who want individual help versus spending time one by one by one by one by one. You know what I mean? This is how we advance with technology. And so we have to be ready for it because it's coming anyway.
Got you. Got you. Okay. So that's given me quite a bit to think about. I think for me personally, just between you and I, because I know our conversation that preceded this meeting, I think that that's the support that I need, where I need to just buckle down and say, here are my skills. These are the experiences that I've had, and this is how I did it. Now let's monetize it.
And then you need a roadmap. So it's good for people like me. What we do is we help people create a roadmap, and you create visuals, and you create what is like a kindergarten worksheet. So when I first started with my business, I was just really trying to give people the information, help them get their business filings done, help them get funded. Now we have whole systems. We have complete checklists. Like, people want to be able to see how to progress in how they're building their this or their that. They want to see that they are moving forward. They want to see how to get the funding. They want to see now how to move outside of the country, what the steps are, and then they can do the steps. But because if you have a roadmap, you can do it. If you have a blueprint, you can do it, right? That's why they don't give the blueprint to becoming a millionaire, right? There's no blueprint out there. If you had the blueprint, you could do it and would do it. Most people would. So now we are able to do that because the power of things like YouTube, that's why they call it YouTube, is a university just for you. You could go in and teach yourself everything you need to know, right on YouTube, anything you need to know. So you want to connect just what you're doing now, 27,000 followers, giving this type of information. Anybody that comes behind and leaves a comment and wants to engage, you have a pipeline for them. You've created a pipeline. You can also steer them to your pipeline, because now somebody out of that 27,000 might want to be in radio, television, and film. Somebody might need engagement in terms of bringing their spirit back to core and to center. And so you have multiple pipelines to send them down. And then you have a hardcore online store for them to go purchase those products, purchase those services. And then we've created what? We've created an economy and an ecosystem. We've created an ecosystem between myself, my network, my technologies, yourself, your network, your technologies. And now we've broadened our engagement a little bit. So these are the type of things that are happening right now. You don't need 4 walls. You don't need a brick and mortar. You don't need to keep tapping into JOBs, right? You can create your own JOB, be happy, love what you do, know that you're impacting somebody, and do it right from the comfort of your own home. And your own home can be anywhere you want to in the world.
Okay. So now my next question, and then we'll button it up by you giving your contact information and all that.
Mhm.
Now I'm thinking about the person. I'm telling you, after going through what I went through and having to experience what it's like to be in complete lack.
Mhm.
Um, I'm now very cognizant of how I spend money, and how I can best, maximize the money that I have.
Mhm.
For the person who has all of this drive, will, and desire, but doesn't necessarily have the resources to build a business. Um, First of all, I feel like $97 and $4.97 is completely a steal. You know,
Mhm.
I gotta ask, what for all that you should be literally charging tens of thousands. I need to know
Well, that
what
97 is for the 97 and 497 is only for the travel information. That is just for
okay
travel
for the
information. You know,
travel,
my regular tiers are 1,000 and 5,000 for my regular services. So,
which I still think is a steal. So
it
it
is.
still leads me to my question: what, with all that you do and all that I mean, I've seen your success stories. I know your success stories. I
Mhm.
mean, and I know the kind of, you top billing. Your
Yep.
shit is good.
Yep.
I aspire to be like you in so many ways.
Thank you.
Yes. I feel like, I feel like it's almost a charity that you,
It is, but it won't be. Let me tell you where we developed to, because this is the new part. So where I was mentioning that we have started teaching people how to build online e-commerce whole businesses. So we now have tier 3, 4, and 5. Tier 3, 4, and 5 is for serious people who are looking to build an entire business and they don't want to start from scratch. They don't want to have to go through all the years that I've been through in terms of trying to build these things. And they don't want to go through all of what they need to learn how to do it online, right? So we have almost like business in a box. We have the information, the filing information, the funding information, the building and development information for these businesses. But now we also have the automations and the technology side, which is very technical. I'm more, I was a dancer most of my life. I was in the arts most of my life. And even though I'm a Libra and I'm very balanced, I don't like the inner workings of technology. That is not me. I have never sat down and be like, let me be an engineer. I've
mm-hmm,
never. So my thing is I had to learn those things and I had to pay for those things. I had to pay 2,000, 10,000, 15,000 at one point just to get myself taught about the technologies and the back end of how to get these things up and moving and automate it, where now we don't have to keep going and sending an email. We don't have to keep going and putting an ad out there. Those things can be automated, and so people can always see your information, always understand what you're doing, whether you're asleep, whether you're awake. The automated part of it is so very important for us to learn as a people. And then it takes you into another profit margin. So that is 10,000, 25,000, and 50,000 to work with me. And I moved into that at the end of last year after I moved through my own stages of, okay, now I've been a CEO for 30 years. I know what I'm doing. I've been giving a lot of money to people, giving a lot of time and energy to people. I need to be able to get the kind of money that is due when you have that much
absolutely,
skill and talent and you spend this amount of time with people over time, pouring value, billable hours, all of that stuff. So tier 3, 4, and 5 are for people who are super serious. There are people out there who would rather take what they would have invested in a brick and mortar business and then put it into learning how to build an online e-commerce entity that is already profitable, because now they have to go through understanding how to build a profitable business from the very beginning. And so with all of that high tech learning and understanding, we have that in tier 3, 4, and 5. So that is again 10,000, 15,000, excuse me, 10,000, 25,000, and 50,000. And
that's
that
great.
came from my own mentors. Like, okay, if you are charging 5,000 for these services, at some point now you're becoming now that's going backwards because you keep
Right,
pouring into people and you know,
right,
yes. So you're
exactly.
right. Hmm.
Because I was about to say you better bump those prices, and that's just me being a friend because I know
Yes.
what you do and your level of success. I'm
Hmm.
like, help me understand what.
Yes.
So I, what do I want to say?
You were
What's
asking the beginning of another question I think is important too for people that don't have the funding to get started just
right?
yet. How do they start? Let me tell you something. You don't have to have thousands of dollars to get started. You can start with what you have right now, a YouTube following. You can also put your Shopify store up immediately, put your products up immediately, and you can have, you know, mini courses. You can have a full course. You should start with those ones that are doable, that people will go ahead and click and buy, because then you can build your capacity along the way to be able to do more in terms of the educational technology side. So if you start with the $97 mini course, you can start with a $497 fuller understanding type course for somebody, and then you can build up to $1997 or $3,000 per person for people who want to spend time with you and be mentored by you. All of those products can go up now. There's no cost to that. You can sign up for Shopify just like you sign up for Facebook. People spend far too long on social media just doing stuff for hours that's not turning into dollars. You know what I mean? You can do the same thing. Put your Shopify store up, check that off your list, get your filings done for your new entity, check that off your list, and then schedule your consultations and the things that you know are going to be paid for paid business mentoring. But get some of the other things out of the way first, you know, and then you're up. You got a way to start making money immediately, and you haven't paid for anything.
And I guess the final question I have would be marketing that. Like, I see a lot of people that do that, but how do you market that and let people know that that's available, that you're offering
That's a
these
good
things?
question. So you have they have you Shopify has a landing page. So you don't even have to have a separate website. You can build a landing page, same marketing materials that you have for your, you have a beautiful banner on this Oracle page. You can use that same branding colors. You can use, you know, come up with different taglines that you have and use that so that people can connect. Oh, this is the same person I saw on YouTube. Now they can go to your Shopify page, see what products and services you have, choose the one that they want, make a purchase. You can be mentioning that on your YouTube, you know, to people. Hey, go to my store if you want to follow up. If you want to, you can also offer free consultations to people to see where they are with the things that you offer. So you can create a product that is said that says free consultation. It has a zero price point. You can create products that say, here's my mini course, $97. Here's my full course, $497. Here's my 6 to 8 week mentoring for $1997. And then you got a full business, you know, already. Of course, I would not be the business mentor. I would be, without saying, to get you a business license first, making sure you spend your $35 and get your business license for that particular entity, and then start, you know, you can put those things up now, but you need to have a business license at some point in your state. And then for those people, of course, that want to do nonprofit, they would have to have the state license and then the IRS 501c3 certificate. Or if they want to do a for-profit, you just need your certificate of formation for that for-profit. And if you wanted an LLC, add an LLC. So, and here's another thing, last thing, you don't have to have a full LLC to run a business. There have people, you can run a DBA for 20 or 30 years without having an LLC, but you have to be really good at what you're doing, not cause a lot of issues, because the LLC protects you from people being able to sue you, you know, so there are different things about the business entities and structures. But the price thing is important, because sometimes people might only have $20 or $30. You could start a DBA with $20 and
Mhm.
you can run a whole business with a DBA.
So everything that you just shared in the last 5 minutes, when you just ran all these things down,
Sure.
what service that you offer walks someone through that, what you just said in detail?
But all my services walk people through that, because I just let them choose what my services are geared more toward what they want to do in terms of the funding side. So tier one, of course, people can actually, my tier one services, people can decide what they want to do, decide which side they want to do it on, for profit or nonprofit. And then they can decide, you know, how they want to get funded. I can show them that, teach them that, help them write the grant packet. I teach them how to get one grant, and I let them go their way. Tier two, of course, is for 50 grants, and I'll write those grants on my side. We're going to be with each other for a longer period of time. We're going to let you build out, because I don't just do grants, I do grants and development, which is what people should know and understand. And by now, hopefully, I'm conveying that to people. because people come in and they think grants and they hear these things online all the time. Like get the free money and these things that are on repeat, which are crazy. You cannot get money and get funded without having development. You have to develop your business, and then you can get money up front with people just seeing your projected ideas. But long term and sustainable business, you to get money for long term, you have to show people, okay, now these are the steps I did. This is my first program. This is my second and third program. Now, a year down the line, wow, we had a huge impact on 200 people over the last year, and you communicate what you're doing, and then people are funding that along the way. So I like to explain the longer version now because sometimes people get caught up in their head and they get mixed up with what they heard out here and what you're saying, and they think things are supposed to be boom pow. Our community we a lot of times we want something for nothing, which has to be unlearned, and then we also want it right now. It has to be unlearned. I always tell people nothing else works but work. So if you're
Right.
willing to follow a few simple steps, you can get there. There have been people who've done it before. There are people winning with the tools you losing with, so don't lose. Follow instructions. Here are the steps. And then we made a streamline. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yes. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So, folks, as we button this up, if you are ready for your new year, for your new you, and to make your moves, get that thing going, this is who you need to be talking to right now. You need to make sure that you reach out, set up that consultation, and she will guide you through that. I am living, breathing, walking proof. I know others have gone through it, and I don't put anybody up here unless I know what I know.
That's right.
It's time now. It is 2025, the year of the 9. It is time. We have to start making moves to better our lives and creating legacy for our community, right? So, Oluremi, give them the ways that they can reach out to you, your contacts, your website.
Sure. My website is real easy, sparkandflow.biz. So Spark, SPARKANDFLOW, sparkandflow.biz. They can reach out. They can send a contact form if they need to. The same thing with my Shopify store, Spark and Flow with Oluremi. So if you just type that in, the Shopify store will come up. You'll see all the products and services available, and they can reach me there also. Any social media at Spark and Flow with Oluremi.
Excellent, excellent. And so they'll just go there and they can select to consult with you and then take it.
Yes. All right. Sure can. They sure
can. We will be back next week.
They sure will.
We're gonna keep building on this because it's time.
That's right. That's right.
Get used to seeing her face right here, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, and you share with somebody who's ready to get their life off the ground.
That's right. Wouldn't that be wonderful to show some of the folks who have done that per your audience? That would be a really, really wonderful thing. It's what we started doing with Influencer Fest. Every year that people come back, we show where they are with their nonprofit that they got started from Influencer Fest.
I'd love to bring them on the channel.
Yep, sure will. Thank you for having me.
You bet. We bet. Okay, so this is it. We'll see you guys next week. Same bat time, same bat channel right here at noon here at Blue, the Oracle Empress. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.